Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Olamide Ogundele and this is Olamide's Thoughts. So one of the things I talk about here is my lifestyle, and today I'm going to be gisting you about how I flew on a first class cabin for free. You heard me right. It's for free. Don't toy with grace. Gang. This is my first time of actually flying on a first class cabin, but the interesting aspect is the fact that I got that for free. Okay, so sit back and let me tell you how that happened. However, please, if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel and you are watching me like this, like you're looking at me eyeball to eyeball, no. Watch this content for free, but please subscribe. Please. Now, subscribe now. Thank you very much. How did I end up in a first class cabin? All right, so the people that sponsored my trip, they actually booked economy, right? And for some reasons, the night to my travel, because the flight was early in the morning, I slept very late and I woke up 1 hour to my flight departure. And I am like, okay, Olamide, if you know what is good for yourself this morning, just brush your teeth, pack yourself and run to the airport, because I'm not about to pay one dime for another flight. And I just called my friend who was supposed to drop me, and we got there like about 35 minutes to the time of flight departure. And honestly, as at that time, I could still fly with that particular plane, because as the girl that I am, I have actually gotten to the airport 20 minutes to the time of departure and I would enter. So once I check in at home and I just get to the airport and I'm with just my carry-on, I just enter. However, do not try this at home if you're going to check in the bag. Again, abort mission. Don't try it at home. So I'm like, okay, I'm there. I got there. I wanted to check in my bag. I have a carry-on and another bag that I'm supposed to check in. So they're like, we're sorry, the system is just jamming because you got here less than 1 hour to the time of flight departure. You can't check in a bag. I'm like, okay, so what is the way out? I saw other folks that were going to be on that same plane with me and they were able to check in because they didn't have a bag, right? Aside from their carry-on. So I'm like, okay, so can somebody explain to me now what the solution is? So they're like, what we're going to do is, since we can't check you in, the lady was trying, kudos to those guys. They tried their best to just make sure that I move with the plane. So I'm like, I cannot leave this bag because I have other stuff in this bag. I know that I can actually go with my carry-on, but what will happen to this one? Bag now start missing. I'm going to fly with my bag. So they're like, okay, what we can do is book you on the next available flight. They gave me all the options. There was one they even gave me that I'm going to have a layover at one place like that for almost maybe like 5 to 6 hours. I'm like, what is that? Is that supposed to be my punishment for missing a flight? No. Even yes. I'm not going to do that to myself. So at the end of the day, I found another flight that was like in the afternoon, but it was going to take me from from Missouri to Denver, then from Denver to Indianapolis. Now, let me break this down if you're probably in Nigeria and I don't understand what I'm talking about. So it's more like I'm flying from Lagos to Ibadan, all right? Then they decided to take me to probably Kaduna first. From Lagos to Kaduna, then from Kaduna, they are going to bring me back to Ibadan. Can you imagine that Israelite journey? May we not travel merry-go-round? That was what they said they were going to do to me. I'm like, what? However, I'm like, your beggar does not have choice. You are the one that missed flight. And guess what? They were like seeing it as their own responsibility, more like, because I got there like 30 minutes before, usually they could still maybe check in the bag or something. However, for some reasons in my own situation, they could not check in the bag. So they were like, oh, we're so sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I'm supposed to be sorry, but since you are sorry, I'm going to accept your apology, please. Before you tell me that want to bring your credit card, let us swipe. I'm not ready to swipe any card here. And at the end of the day, they booked another flight for me, and I opened my ticket and it was a first class. I'm like, okay. Aww. I'm like, what? Oh my god. At first I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I missed a flight. Like, if I pick up my phone now and I tell my father that I missed the flight, my dad would just be like, you know, Olamide, I used to tell you that even on your wedding day, I'm going to wake you up 2 a.m. so you start dressing up. I'm like, no, that was not the situation. Usually, me, Olamide, I will get to the airport 20 minutes and I will enter. But it's just the bag that I was just going to check in. So I was just like, no, I think I've got to rejoice. So, but the thing was that the first flight from Missouri to Denver was, it was just a small plane, so there was no first class cabin. It was just economy plus, so I was just there. But the one from Denver to Indianapolis was a first class. You know what the feeling was like? It had this prestige. You know what Yoruba will say, that don't go and do Omoju Orolari. It's not just Omoju Orolari. It's you just getting something when you didn't actually work for it. And so that's a joy for me. The joy is not just the first class thing. It's the fact that I'm looking at the person sitting by myself. I'm like, yo, I didn't pay for your seat. I didn't pay the same amount. I'm sorry, but I'm here, but I didn't pay for the seat. I mean, we are here together, but I didn't pay for it. That was just my joy. Oh my goodness. So I'm just going to show you how the trip went, and I decided to do a good vlog of the flight. Yeah, it was a long one. I mean, we flew for 2.5 hours from Denver to Indianapolis alone. So it was a long trip. Let's just say that was my reward for missing a flight. So enjoy the rest of the video. So guys, yeah, at this point I was back at the airport, and then they did not bomb me where this one I cannot miss this flight. So I got there early enough, like super early, and I was just going to the gate for the departure. And you know, and when I was almost there, I just heard, attention passengers, somebody left their poster at the TSA. Guess who left their poster? Olamide. I don't know. I'm like, the devil cannot get me. So I was in the aircraft now, ready to leave for Denver. I see my dimples showing off. I'm a fine girl, no pimples. Anywho, we are already leaving at this point, and I was just trying to, you know, take videos of the environment and all of that, blah blah blah. At this point, we had gotten to Denver. I had about 1 hour, few minutes layover there. I was just observing everywhere. I realized that Denver was an international airport, and they actually have a lot of activities going on there. So I decided to say, let's just take videos for people and see what's up. At this point, I was headed for the gate of departure. Thank you. Just looking for it, and I found out that I need to use the train to get to the gate at which I'm going to, you know, join the aircraft. Now let us enter the train. See guys, the first time I took this train, I think that was at, what airport was that? I don't know if that was Chicago or Orlando. I think it's one of the two, maybe both. All right, but the first time I'm like, hey God, Jesus. The thing was, I'm like, this speed is too much. Don't you have control? But I think maybe at this point I'm probably used to it. But I really do not like the train, because the speed is like, oh my goodness, no, don't do that. So yeah, I'm out of the train and I'm at the gate where the aircraft is, and yes, it's a gate, and yeah, I'm on my way there. So going to the gate, just enjoy the view of Denver Airport. Yeah. Finally, I arrived at the gate, and I was just talking to my friends on the phone. I called one of my friends that is a pilot. I'm like, yo, something happened in the plane. Guy, come and explain to me, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so at this point, they asked us to line up, and, you know, they asked the first class to go in first. Before me, I used to look at them, these people, hey, because the difference in the price, I'm like, you have money. So it was my time to enter, whether I paid for it or not. I entered. So this particular plane is actually bigger than the one I flew in from Missouri. And you know, how it is, the difference is that your chair, your seat is bigger, more spacious. Then you have an iPad attached to the back of the chairs. Then I ate in. Then there was like a demarcation between the first class cabin and the rest. My father would say and others. And we could actually see the safety precautions on the screen and watch that, and not just see the air hostess do their thing. Then they had to put off the light, draw the curtain. I just love the serenity. And another thing was that they fed us from beginning to the point of landing. At a point, I'm like, So because you are inside first class, you should not have one single ironu. You cannot meditate. One thing, what do you want again? I'm like, kilo de gong gong. No wonder. So this is what the people are enjoying in this side. And you see this food and this thing that I ordered, I don't even understand. I took the salad, but you see that noodles that is cold. I'm like, no. I heard that it's a cold food. I'm like, no, I don't want that. And I returned it to them this way. But I ate the other things. Of course, the bread is always good. Yeah, so I took the bread and had the dessert, and this was actually at the point of landing. So at this point, I had arrived at Indianapolis. Trust me, I was tired because it was a long flight, and I was going towards the baggage claim to get my bag and call the person that was supposed to pick me up. And this was around past 11 at Indianapolis. I mean, before I got home that day. But then, see me still maintaining beauty. It's not easy to be fine. Olamide, I give it to you, my girl. Anywho, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Only God knows what I was cheering there. Anywho, bye bye.